Hi guys, how you going? I've got a message for card holders here. You guys need to start speaking up on our pages everywhere. See, people like One Nation are brainwashing their supporters, right, that you guys volunteered to go on the card. So for 6 years, right, so many of you have been forced onto this card. You didn't know you were going on the card. It turned up in your letterbox. If you didn't activate it, you lose access to 80% of your income, right? If you had kids and you tried to say, no, I'm not activating it, you had threats of welfare coming to check on the well-being of your kids. I need card holders to step up now and speak out and say, no, you didn't volunteer to go on the damn card. You didn't ask for this. It got lumped on you. So seriously, because Pauline Hanson and her supporters, right, and people like her are actually on Twitter accusing us of being liars. You know what I mean? So, for instance, Jocelyn in Ceduna, she was put on the card in 2016. She didn't volunteer for that bloody thing in 2016. Now, along the way, she was able to take advantage of the weekly payments exemption and get off for a little while. But come March this year, just gone, she was one of the first ones put back on the card in Ceduna. And she's 65 years of age. So we've got some dickhead on Twitter at the moment going, she was not forced. That's not true. The program's voluntary. So I need card, apparently we're running a scare campaign, right? Okay? And, yeah. So, this is a message for card holders. And there's an awful lot of you out there. And I need to hear from an awful lot of you. I need a lot of you putting your stories on the page. Or sending a short video. And just saying, I didn't volunteer for this. I didn't consent to this. I didn't ask for this. And make it very clear, please. Because at the moment, the silence is deafening. And if card holders don't come out and speak up, right, the media and everybody, the media is not doing their job, are they? They're not telling the facts properly either. But when you've got One Nation fans running around going, oh, the program's voluntary, when we know it's never been voluntary. The basics card in the Northern Territory is not voluntary, it's compulsory. All right? People need to speak up, seriously, because we're getting hammered trying to constantly tell people, no, that's not, remind them of Robodebt. No, because the people that are like this don't believe Robodebt either. They just think everybody was, oh, look. I had enough of it yesterday. I had denial. No, they don't do that. No, that doesn't happen to card holders. No. And I had one bloke going, nope, that doesn't happen. No, none of it's happened. You know what I mean? I don't know what's gone wrong in people's heads, but people like Pauline Hanson that are feeding into the crap of anybody who's over 36 volunteered for the card. That was the last thing I saw from Pauline on her own bloody page. She was speaking out of her ass and didn't know the facts herself. The same as Pauline says, nobody on invalid pension is on the card. We don't have invalid pension, Pauline. We have disability support pension. And there's over 1,000 of them on the card. You know what I mean? But no. These people, it's total denial. So the only way I can try and say to these people, well, here, this is a person. You're going to deny their existence? Are you going to call them a liar? Because I'll tell you now, if you start calling card holders a liar, I will come after them like bloody a wildfire. You know what I mean? It's not good enough. But I need some backup from the card holders, please. It's just not right. And I'm not going to have people watering down the effects of this card on people's mental health, on the people that have lost their lives, because there has been people that have ended it, for the people that are in financial ruin, right? Because people are running around, right, going, Oh no, it's voluntary program. It's never been a voluntary program. Yes, they've put in the thing that people can volunteer if they want, but seriously? All the people that have had it turn up in their letterbox, the minute they've moved into a card area, within 3 or 4 weeks, bingo, here comes the card. Right? That's not voluntary. Oh, yeah. Stupidity behind, it's mind-boggling. So, if you're on the cashless debit card, I need to hear from you. Need to hear your stories on the pages. But better still, if you're on TikTok, make a video and link me. Kath says no to the CDC on TikTok, or send me a 1-minute video or a 3-minute video or whatever that I can put on TikTok or something. Because, yeah, you need to put faces and straighten this out, you know what I mean? The people that are living this should not be called liars. And we shouldn't be called liars because we're standing up for the people that are living this. You know? Marlene, we could do with... We need to hear from some of the people in the East Kimberley Police. That's one area we very rarely hear from card holders. We desperately need to hear from card holders up in the Kununurra, East Kimberley. Right? Julie, we can get those stats. I just can't do it tonight. But I'll give you a rough estimate of 1,000 people that applied to get off the card. I think in Hinkler, 200 have gotten off. Right? It's not a very big percentage of people have got off. Yeah, I'll have a dig, or I can probably find that information, but not tonight. But we do have the stats for that, okay? It's been recorded in Senate estimates over the last few years. And, yeah, I'll dig it up for you. Because there isn't that many people being granted exemptions. And most of the time, it's well-being exemptions and not many opt-outs. Do you know what I mean? So... It's a very small percentage. Out of like 14,000 plus people that are on the card or whatever, it's under 1,000 people have been granted exit applications. So if it was damn well voluntary, you'd have a lot more people, wouldn't you? That would be able to get off easier. I've got people that have been trying to get off for over a year. I've got people who have been waiting months for their interview. And then when they ring up, because they didn't have their interview, they're being told they have to reapply again. Right, they're being completely stuffed around, ignored, right? Their opt-outs are being ignored and they're having to chase them. You know, so, yeah, Marlene, you need to encourage people to speak up, okay? Make a little video for me. I need people on the card to just say, what has it done to them? And were they asked if they wanted it or not? Was it voluntary? No, we know it wasn't voluntary. We know damn well it wasn't voluntary. Right? It just rolled in. It rolled into Ceduna in 2016. It rolled into Kununurra in 2016. It rolled into the Goldfields in 2018. And it was rolled into Hinkler in 2019. Right? And you see, they can't get the Northern Territory people on the basics card to volunteer to change from the basics card to the cashless debit card easily, because they were hoping by now to have 23,000 more people captured on the cashless debit card in the Northern Territory, and they've only got 800 to transfer or volunteer from the basics card to the cashless debit card. You know, there's a trick on that word, because it's not really volunteering, because you're not getting off of compulsory income management in either way. So most people are sticking with what they know, and believe it or not, their basics card, they don't lose all their legal protections under the basics card. So, oh dear, oh dear. It's going to be a messy run up to the election. I know it's not voluntary. You know it's not voluntary. I need card holders to stand up and say, I didn't bloody well volunteer for this. I didn't get a choice. This is what it's done to me. It turned up in the post. Some people never even got an email that it was coming. It just turned up. Or some people have had their money quarantined, got the letter and never got a card. You know what I mean? That's not volunteering for something. Volunteering for something is walking in and asking for it yourself. And I know that all the people I know on the card didn't get that option. Not at all. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And the denial around, there's 20 age pensioners on the card in the Cape York right now. And you know what? The attitude I'm getting from people? Oh, that's okay. That's them up there. It's okay. They're only Aboriginals. Well, I'm sorry. That's not my attitude. My attitude is there's 20 old age pensioners on the card now. 14 of them were forced onto the card. Right? 6 of them are volunteered. I don't trust the word volunteered because I'll be straight up. If you've already got your adult children on the card and you've got the grandkids on the card, they're going to ask you to, for your own safety, it might be a good idea for you to go on the card. That way your relatives aren't going to ask you for money. Right? You know? So, yeah, I know that Anne Ruston is denying age pension is being on the card, right? She can deny it all she wants. But that means that the department is saying, oh, no, we're not going to put age pensioners on the card, but it's okay for the Aboriginal age pensioners. So it shows their racism, doesn't it? I'm sorry. I don't care what race you are, what colour your skin is. If you're an age pensioner and you've been forced onto this card, you're age pensioner on the card. Irrespective of whether you're First Nation or whether you're non-Indigenous or whatever. You know? Anne Ruston can jump up and down all she likes. She made that legislation and they pushed it through at Christmas time. They put age pensioners down as a restrictable payment in the legislation. They did it. You know what I mean? And then they deny, oh, no. It's like, but it's your own legislation. Are you trying to say you don't even read your own legislation that you write? You know what I mean? I mean, seriously. Do they really think Australians are that much of a mug? Obviously. You know? Yeah, they've got some people really convinced that none of this is real. I found that out yesterday. No, it's not happening. No, that lady's not on the card. No. I'm just reading something. I don't know. There's something going wrong. You know, all I can do is do what I'm doing, but I must admit, my next markets, I'm just going to put my posters and signs up. I'll put leaflets there, but I'm not going to argue with people who deny it. I'll say, bye, off you go. You know what I mean? I'm not going to waste my energy and do my mental health in, right, trying to convince people that who can't read, obviously, or are so in love with the Country Liberal Party or the Nationals, right? You know, or the Liberals would never do that. They would never do that. They've done it. They've been doing it for 6 years. No. Well, if they've done that, it must be really good. It's a good thing then if they did it. I had a husband and wife fighting each other. And she's tapping him on the shoulder going, no, it's not a good thing. And he's going, yeah, it's a good thing. She's going, no, it's not a good thing. I was like, I think he had a bit of dementia. I'm not sure. But anyway, I don't know. All I know is that he had to go home with his wife who fully understood what my leaflet said, fully understood what my posters said. And he was going on about the Country Liberal Party would never do it. Anyway, whatever. I still need card holders to speak up. Seriously. Right? You know, I had a poster this big, Julie, with the legislation on it and the stats of how many people are on it and which payment. And I still got told that was all bullshit. No, that's not happening. You know what I mean? Still got told it was lies. And even though I'm not Labor, I also got told, oh, you're part of the Labor Party. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? I got broadsided with so much shit yesterday. I've never had that. Even like, we did the markets fighting the card before it came. And I was just absolutely gobsmacked yesterday at the denial, at the gaslighting. I don't know. Maybe it was just the market I went to. Maybe it was the demographic of the area, self-funded retirees that seem to think that everybody else, even if they worked 100 hours a week, didn't work hard enough to be as wealthy as what they are. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. I don't know. There was a lot of... It was a mess yesterday. So I'll try another market next week. All right, if not next week. I've got a friend coming back in a couple of weeks that might be able to help me. All right, my biggest problem is having nobody to help me. That is another big problem. No people... Like, I've got people who are willing to volunteer later on down the track, but, you know... Oh no, it's very difficult. Amanda and I feel like we're the only two doing it. You know what I mean? It's really, really, really difficult out here. But I need card holders. I really do need card holders to step up and say, right, I've been on the card since 2016. I've been on the card since 2018. You don't have to say anything. Just first name, what state you're in, right? You know, and if you're over 36, how old you are would help. Do you know what I mean? Because we need to let people know that people are over 36, did not volunteer for this card, did not ask for it, right? And they need to come out and say no. Because otherwise, if they sit silent any longer and LNP get back in, whew, we're all done for anyway. And I don't want that. I really don't want that. We've worked 6 years, all right? But now we've run into this denial thing. And it's like people, you know, I don't know, I think some people are just trying to wind us all up. Seriously. Yeah, people, yeah, we need to remind people too, right, that the card, once you're on the card, you can't get off of it. It goes wherever you go. You know what I mean? Moretta, we don't do anti-vaxxer stuff on this page, period. Period. I'm not getting distracted and having our campaign hijacked by anti-vaxxer stuff either. Simple as that. Right? Seniors United Australia telling them to lose their bowling clubs, RSL clubs, because the pensioners will not be able to go there. Well, I've got a poster made up for this region, for Wide Bay and Hinkler, that shows, it's just a matter of getting the graphics size right so I can print it, that shows exactly, and I want to do more for different reasons, right, to show exactly what's banned. But, yeah, when you've got people who go, no, that's not true, and they don't even want to look at where you got the information from, I'm not going to even entertain those people anymore, because they're just going to upset me and wind me up. All right, and for all I know, they could be just gaslighting. They could be just trolls in real life. Do you know what I mean? Been there, done that. Oh. Well, we have to get out there and give people the information, because it's obvious it's not getting through here on social media to everywhere we need it to go. You know what I mean? So we need to get it out further. And the only way to do it is to go out there in person. You know? And I'm it on the ground. I'm it. Just me. At the moment. Oh. Yeah. And it's feeling, it's hard work. It is hard work. And I'm trying not to give up. I'm trying so hard not to give up and say, look, I can't do this by myself. It's too big. You know what I mean? And the trolling and everything been through in the last 6 years. To get to this point where Labor's finally decided, all right, they're against the card. They're going to stop the card. We know the Greens are going to stop the card, right? And then all of a sudden, I can't get volunteers. I've got numbers for 2 people that have actually given me their phone numbers to ring them for when pre-poll comes. I need card holders to stand up for themselves and come out, you know what I mean? But they're worn out and exhausted as well. George Mason says, how can we get proper media coverage on this? We can't. We can't get proper media coverage on this. Because they won't, they report what they want to report. You know, they'll report a story if it's worth it for them. Like, I'm so grateful to those 2 Bachelor of Nursing students that came out in the ABC about 3 weeks ago and explained what life was like on the card while they're trying to do their Bachelor of Nursing. Because I had ABC Kalgoorlie expecting me to find people on the card to talk to him. And they don't want to talk to him because every time somebody who's on the card talks to somebody at the ABC, the story gets, they edit stuff or they miss something out or something doesn't get explained properly. And then there's a backlash on the person that they put in the paper in the local community. You know what I mean? I've got one lady in Ceduna who's in fear of her life, for God's sakes. Right? All the pro-card businesses and everybody threatened her as soon as she did no shoes in Ceduna. Right? That ended up with death threats at that poor woman and being broken into and having the house trashed. And so far in the last 12 months, the house been ransacked 7 times. You know? And that's not fair either. But that's if people go into the newspaper. I need card holders just to come out and say, straight up, just, they don't have to say anything, just basically, I'm on the card, I went on the card, whatever year it was, all right, what payment you're on and how old you are, you know, yeah, we need to do something because I'm sick of these older people just denying everything. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair. And like when you ask them, how would you feel about if your grandkids, my family's well enough off, our kids will never be on this sort of thing. It'll never happen to them. Really? You know, yeah, I don't know. All I can say is if you're on the cashless debit card, please send us your stories. Please do little videos. But the main thing is here, let people know you did not volunteer for this. You did not sign up for it. You did not want it. And you did not consent to having a private company set up a bank account in your name and effectively steal 80% of your income. Bottom line. And your decision-making abilities and forcing you to live life a different way and having to work around things to survive. You know? Oh, I'm sick of it. I really am, because it's not fair how people are being treated in this country, and everybody's being just people like this idiot on TikTok gaslighting people. People like Pauline Hanson gaslighting people. Well, if you're on welfare, you don't have any rights. You know, gaslighting people. It makes me, I'm sick to death of these politicians that think that they can abuse and gaslight their constituents. You know? It's ridiculous. It really is. It just is really... Oh... I need some help on the ground before I lose my mind as well. Okay? Because even way back at the beginning, I wasn't on my own like I am up here now. Right? I had lots of people that if I called a meeting for Sunday at the Rotunda, I had 10 people turn up. You know what I mean? When we had protests, I had between 10 and 25 people turn up. All the time. And I had people helping me to do stuff. When we did the Christmas barbecues, I had volunteers to help me. When we did the pre-polls, I was able to man 3 polling booths with the volunteers that we had last federal election and 2 state elections. But where's everybody gone? This is the biggest election coming up, and we need to, we need to get organised, and we need more people on the ground. And I really would like to have family members of card holders, right, who can actually say anything. George Mason, no. No. The answer to your question is no. Okay? Flat out, nada. Zip. We went to their national conference, 2019, November. Bit hard to talk to service providers when they're getting their funding from Indu, mate. Let's put it that way. Or service providers that are gagged that if they stand up and say anything, they lose their federal funding. All right? All I know is that Cassandra Goldie, whenever I keep meeting her, says, I'm doing a wonderful job. And thank you for everything you've done, but that's it. You know what I mean? Other than that, I don't hear from ACOS. I no longer hear from QCOS since they sacked the 11 staff, of which 2 of them were doing the card stuff in Queensland. So that's QCOS hasn't contacted me since the 2 people that were involved with them and did the survey for the Hinkler region and that. They sacked all the staff that were involved in all of that. So I haven't heard from QCOS, haven't heard from ACOS for, wow, over a year now. Or actually coming up nearly 2 years. Yeah, well, you know. Tara, which card are you on? Are you on the Cash's debit card or are you on the Basics card? Hang on, I've just lost the comment. Hang on, what's it got? Tara? So I don't mind, I've lost, hang on. So you're living in Queensland. I'm on my phone, I'm having trouble with these comments here. Keep jumping up to the top and it's like, oh God. I want to read your comment. There it is. Tara Paris says she's living in Queensland, put on the card when she moved back home from Cairns. Forced on it, basically, trying to pay rent privately. I feel the same as you. I'm sorry, but this seriously need to get rid of this. It is a useless thing to make people be on it. They want to see what people spend their money on. I feel like I'm being monitored because if I have to buy something that's more than $200, I have to call to see if I can put a limit up. I feel if it's possessive and a load of absolute crap. I'm so pissed I can't even go to the markets or buy takeout because they don't accept cash or it's cash only. You're on the Cash's debit card. Okay. How did you get put on the Cash's debit card in Cairns when the Cash's debit card is not in Cairns? That's my question. Okay? Because the Cairns is a Basics card region, not a Cash's debit card region. So how did you get put on that card? Can you message the page? Just take a photo of your card. I don't want to see your numbers. All right. Is it the grey one? Oh, I see. You moved from Cairns to Bundaberg. Yeah. So as soon as you moved to Bundaberg, bingo, straight on the card you went. Yeah. And it's useless, isn't it? So, did you get a choice? Did they say, would you like to volunteer? I'm being facetious, by the way, okay? Because all these gaslighting trolls that are trying to say that you volunteered for this, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It really is. It really is. But I would like an army of people behind me with their Cash's debit card saying, I didn't fucking volunteer for this. Excuse my French. But that's what I would love. I would love to be able to rock up somewhere and go, like, I've got all these people here. Right? I dare you. Because I'm over it, I really am. I'm really over the way people are being treated, ignored and stomped on and driven into the deck. And you can't pay rents, or you can't get access to enough cash to pay rent for private rent. You can't get access to pay for things you need. All right, and you have to beg somebody on the other end of the phone. And that's wrong. on top of all the rest of it. You know, and it's bad enough out there. I saw a lady yesterday who'd been homeless and been having trouble finding appropriate housing, right, with chronic health issues as well. And in her little stint of being homeless, even though she's my age group as well, the biggest thing she found was the amount of people that are out there to exploit people. You know what I mean? They want your money. If you know, they put up a room for rent. They're not even legit. People move in. They want sex. They want money. They want alcohol. They want this. They want that. They're exploiting people. And it's like people on the card are open bloody targets, and it's disgusting, and I'm sick of it. I really am. Putting mainly women and children into crisis. Putting disabled people into crisis. And everybody, people in the mental health strain, I don't know. So Tara Perry, yeah, if you want to contact me by message or something, and I mean, they've been so desperate to capture, and that's their words, not mine, people onto the cashless debit card, that, I mean, there was one lady that was up there for 8 days in Bundaberg. As soon as she got back to Brisbane, bang, on the card, because she'd lived in Bundaberg for 8 days. You know? Another lady who's up near Rockhampton or Calliope, she was spent time in Childers, living in a tent, but that wasn't her permanent address, but they put her on the card anyway. Even though her permanent address is Calliope, which is not on the card. You know, over 40% of people on the card live outside card areas. Something like 5,400 and something people don't even live in the card areas that are on the card. But I want to hear from heaps and heaps and heaps of card holders. And I want to hear from the parents of the card holders that are struggling as well, please. All right? Okay, so I know in the Northern Territory, they're currently running a radio advertisement asking people to switch from the basics card to the CDC on most stations, selling it as a debit card that's easier than basics card, and the cash split will be the same as the basics card. Actually, that is correct, Kathleen, at the moment, all right, for people in the Northern Territory, it is a 50-50 split, all right, when they transfer to the CDC, but, you know, they're advertising it for volunteers, yes, because what they've done in the legislation is you can volunteer to transfer from your basics card to the cashless debit card, but that doesn't release you from compulsory income management. You didn't volunteer to go on compulsory income management in the first place. They're only giving you the choice to volunteer, and they're trying to coerce it, right? So you switch from one, which is still run by the government, your human rights, your legal rights are still protected, and it's not privatised, which is the basics card. They just want to get you onto the Indu card, which is privatised, and you lose all your rights, right? And you lose your human rights protections, and it's not run by Centrelink. It's privatised. So, see, Indu's making money then, while people on the basics card, they're not getting any money, you know. It's just crazy. But anyway, but that's like I said, the government was hoping to get 23,000 people on, you know, to switch in the Northern Territory by now. And despite all their radio advertising, and I've also heard there's TV advertising as well, they've only managed to get 800 people to switch as of last month's stats, instead of the 23,000. So it's not working out the way they wanted at all. You know, it's not. But, yeah, I need an army of card holders and their families to start standing up, right, and saying, we've had enough. We don't want this. We didn't volunteer for this. This is what it's done to our families. And I would really love to have those people pre-polling with me at the election, so they can turn around and say, hey, when somebody turns around and says, no, it's not true, the person can turn around and say, excuse me, I've had to live this life. Don't call me a liar, you know what I mean? I mean, we don't want fights with people at pre-poll, but it'd be handy if I had card holders and some of their family members, right, there to help. Because the only way we're going to get rid of these stinking cards is just change the government. That's the bottom line. ALP have to win the election in order to get rid of the card. Because if they don't get in, LNP is going to have a field day. They've got it all set up ready to go, and it's all about the money for them. They don't give a stuff about us out here. And they're making that really, really keen. You know what I mean? My comments going up and down all over here. Reality versus perception, yeah. Created by propaganda. Oh dear. And we need to bring people down to the reality of it. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go, but if you're on the card, let me know. Drop me a note in the message. If you want to help out anytime. I'm going to probably, if I can't get some help to do the markets next week, I may have a friend afterwards in about 2 weeks' time that can help me. And I'll be doing markets around the Hervey Bay area. I'll put call out for card holders. George says, what if Morrison is minority government? Yeah, it depends who's sitting in the Senate, doesn't it? If you've still got One Nation and Centre Alliance sitting in the Senate, still going to get the card through, aren't they? Because Centre Alliance can't be trusted to go, oh no, we're not going to... Well, we've heard Centre Alliance liars before, and look what they did on the 9th of December, 2020. You know, that was sickening, that was. Couldn't even be bothered to turn up to the chamber and left the building. You know, it was disgusting. Talk about cowardice. After telling people for 2 years they wouldn't vote for the card if there was no evaluation put forward. You know. So, we have the worst infrastructure here, and the CDC is completely void in the remote community. I'm not on a CDC holder, but NT need to wake up and happy to help. Kathleen, would you like to become one of our mods for the Northern Territory page and let me know where you are, and maybe you can organise some stuff up there, because we haven't got somebody on the ground in the Northern Territory. We could really do with that. You know what I mean? And I don't know if there's any Greens up there, but I know that Millendarren McCarthy's up there and she'll back you as well. But, yeah, maybe drop me a line in the message box as well. And, yeah, so Tari says she had no choice. She didn't volunteer to be put on the card. And that's what we need to get through to people. It's not voluntary. You know what I mean? Tari, if you can do a video on your phone for me, you don't even have to show me your face. Just point your camera at the floor if you have to. You know what I mean? I just need other people's voices. And I'll put the videos up and go, right. You know. Okay, I'll respond in message shortly. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go, but yeah. If you're on the card, please speak up. It's time to speak up. And yeah, I need card holders behind me. And when I go to the markets in Hervey Bay, I'll put a call out, and I'd love to have some people turn up at the markets and volunteer at the stall and talk to people about what life is like on the card. You know what I mean? It's not, it needs to be, we've got to stop this. Gianno Pereiro says, will the debit card go off? Yes, it will. If LNP get back in, they already made no bones about it being a national rollout, all right? And the way that it'll probably go down is the first thing they'll do is go for all of the under 36s straight away, all right? and no doubt more pensioners will go on the card, because there's no reason why they wouldn't. You know, they've already started with the Cape York. The legislation's already written into the bill from last year that was passed through, right? And the ultimate goal is national rollout. And you've got, the Nationals have already taken a vote in their party room that they want to roll it out. Minderoo Gen 1, which is Twiggy Forrest Foe charity that's been doing all the technical working group with the banks and Australia Post and Woolworths, Coles and Aldi, they want it rolled out. You know what I mean? And on top of that, a while back, Minderoo were proposing that Hinkler should align with the other states and go full up to age 67 and include disability and carers as well, like everywhere else. But I noticed that got changed and I didn't get a screenshot of that particular statement, because when I went back looking for it, they changed it to under. They wanted to put under 25s on it first. So the government's already throwing out which way they're going to go to start a national rollout. And because they've got it in every state apart from Victoria and Tasmania so far. When you think about it, they've got it in Northern Territory. They've got it in 2 lots of electorates in the WA, because you've got the East Kimberleys, and then you've got the whole of the Goldfields, right? In South Australia, you've got Ceduna and all APY lands, which is all of the First Nations lands, right? Queensland, you've got it in Bundaberg to Hervey Bay, and then you've got it again, all the whole Cape York, all the communities up there have already got it. If that's not mission creep, tell me what mission creep is, please. Do you know what I mean? And this was all supposed to be a 1-year trial for Ceduna. Oh, no, it's only a 12-month trial for those on New Start, targeted to a few people in the community. And when they rolled it in, it went to all payments in the community, 900 and something people at the time. And then that was March the 14th, 2016. And then April 25th, I think it was, Kununurra and Wyndham, they did the same. Rolled it out to everybody in the community. And that was 2016. Then the Goldfields, they rolled it out to everybody. I think it was April 23rd, 2018. And when it got to Hinkler, they got a bit of a resistance, right? Like people out on the streets for a year, because we did the protests. And we protested and we protested and we protested. And we went to Canberra, we went to the Senate. We did everything we could. Media, everything. Even though the media would not report what I was telling them, because the media is a little bit biased up here. The editors are pro-LNP, so anything I had to say, their propaganda lady got the first, front page and page 2, saying how wonderful it was going to be, and saying about starving welfare kids and all this other shit, and I got 2 paragraphs in the same article, right? Yeah. Oh, look, it's just, the media's been a battle all the way through. We've had some that's done a couple of really good stories, but the rest have just done, they haven't done, they always miss out important aspects, and they don't put the human rights aspects on it. And because then again, you've got Pauline yelling out, once you're on welfare, you don't have any rights. And then you've got Pauline insisting that people on invalid pensions aren't on it. Well, that's because the invalid pension doesn't exist. People on disability support pension, Pauline. And even when we showed her videos and photographs of people on the DSP holding up their Indu cards, and then those people rang her office and got called liars and hung up on. Because in Pauline's little mind, oh, they must have volunteered for it. I was like, oh, for God's sakes, God give me strength. They didn't volunteer for it. But Pauline won't even read the legislation. All right? I could put that piece of paper in front of her. She'd say it's not true. Because it's obviously, they have never read the legislation. And it shows how hypocritical Pauline Hanson is. Because Malcolm Roberts and her were fighting against a cash ban. All right? I've got stickers for no cashless debit card. I'm not doing more stickers up to do no Indu card, because Yeah, it costs money to get all the artwork set up and reset, and then it's hundreds of dollars, okay, to get it all set up. I'm not doing that at the moment. I've got, oh no, 750 stickers here at the moment, George. Oh dear. So I've got stickers that say no cashless debit card. Say no to the cashless debit card. Hang on a second. Oh, because I haven't even got my hat here. Hang on a second. My hat's in the car because I actually wore it yesterday. Hang on a sec, guys. Oh. Back. Okay. So there's our stickers. Say no to the cashless debit card. Alright. And we have our badges. Okay. And they're $5 each. Only because Australia Post, if I put these in a prepaid envelope, Australia Post wants $2.30 to post them. You know what I mean? Yeah, Kathleen Harrison says, I need like 250,000 of them lower. Yeah. Oh my God, the company that makes them would fall over with an order that big, wouldn't they? Oh dear. So, yeah, the NT News is a Murdoch paper. All right. Yeah, George, just send me a message in the message box. I need your address and stuff, and I'll give you the details. All right. That'll be fantastic. Yeah, the NT News is a Murdoch rag. Anything that's Murdoch, you're not going to get the truth in. But I will give the Australian their due. Early June, they did a Weekender article, and it's a 14-minute read. That's how big the article is. It was a double-page spread. And they had heads up. First article, part of the article was Jocelyn Whiten from Ceduna, who was forced back onto the card in March at age 65 years of age. They did a very good article. Very balanced article. Yes, it interviewed pro-card supporters. And it made Alan Suter from Ceduna look like a right jerk, because he was the last part that they interviewed, and the photograph of him sitting in the community pub, eating a meal and drinking a beer, whilst turning around saying why those people shouldn't be allowed in the pub, basically, right? It did, yeah, it made him look like a right jerk, and that's, yeah. Jenny Perro, there are already old age pensioners on the card now. This is what I can't get through to people. In the Cape York, right now, 14 age pensioners have been forced onto the cashless debit card. And 6 have volunteered. Okay? I can't think anybody would volunteer knowing that they were going to lose their human rights, their legal protections, their consumer rights, everything. So there's 20 people on the cashless debit card now that are on the age pension in the Cape York. And that has been verified through a questions on notice, right, reply, the Nita Green from the ALP put in, and that was the reply that she got. And in this September stats, which we've got up on the page as well, right, pensioners are listed as other, okay, and there's 21 listed as others, because you've got all the different payment amounts and which region they're in and how many for each payment. And when you get to the end with Cape York, you've got how many? 21. Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and it's getting late, so I'm going to head off. But, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to tell people yesterday, age pensioners are already on. I mean, yeah, and people wouldn't believe me that Jocelyn's on the card at 65. And then I've got some idiot that's having a go on Twitter at SN7 saying that she volunteered for the card. No, she did not. She never volunteered for that card. It's upended her whole life, right? It's destroyed her life. And it's shut down her favourite shop as well, which she used to be a volunteer in. You know what I mean? And it stopped her from being able to take part in a simple hobby of crafting because she can't buy anything on eBay. You know? I mean, Ceduna lost a third of its population. They got up and moved. And now what's left, almost half the population of Ceduna is on the cashless debit card. Right? Over 4,000 families in the goldfields are on the cashless debit card. 7,100 and something families are on it in Hervey Bay to Hinckley, to Bundaberg. And I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's on the stats there, how many are there in East Kimberley. Right? Yeah. So, anyway, I will get off and I've got to do some stuff in my inbox. Yes, no one in their right mind, if they were given informed, proper information, would never volunteer. All right? They would not volunteer for it in a million years. Simple as that. Yeah. Oh, my comments have gone crazy again. I've lost it. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. And sorry, it's really difficult on the phone. Yeah, I'm just trying to get back to the bottom of the comments. I'm going to go. I've got messages coming in inbox, so I will, I'll talk to you guys later. And yeah, if any of you guys want any of the stickers or badges or a t-shirt, let me know in the message box, okay? Still got plenty here. I've got plenty of t-shirts, sizes 6 to small to 2 extra large, so let me know. I've got some posting to do tomorrow, but yeah, if anybody wants any of that stuff, just send me a message. Okay? And, yeah. I'll, hang on. Hang on a second. Oh, yeah. George Mason, I hear what you're saying. So, because yesterday I was at the markets at Tin Can Bay. And so I got yelled at by one person that it was a scare campaign from the Labor Party and that I was a Labor Party member. And I just, poof, I said, excuse me, I don't belong to any political party, all right? None of us do here. We've always stayed apolitical, right? And I was like, oh no. So, because the government's nervous, they're obviously trying to get it out to their age pensioners. They're trying to say it's a Labor scare campaign, but it's not. And we know it's not, you know what I mean? Yeah, so, I mean, it doesn't matter. They're not going to put the pensioners on it in 5 minutes because they know that that would absolutely be political suicide. But the fact that there's 20 pensioners on it now, right, it's in the bill, and it only takes the stroke of a pen from the minister to use a legislative instrument to make it happen. You know what I mean? We've only got lip service to say that she's not. There's nothing in writing to say it's never going to happen. If it was never going to happen, they wouldn't be on. They wouldn't be in the bill. Period. They wouldn't even be mentioned of being able to volunteer for it. Okay, it would they would never be included ever. But the minute they started putting it in the bill, that's different. And then when you look at the blocked lists. Golf clubs, bowls clubs, sporting clubs, right? RSLs are mixed merchants. You can still go to the RSL for a meal, but you have to line up at a separate terminal to pay for your drinks with your own money out of your own card. You can't buy even a bottle of water on the cashless debit card. Okay? And you definitely can't go and play the pokies or go to the bingo or go to the 2-Up on Anzac Day at the RSL. Okay? Simple as that. Not with the card. Right? So, yeah. It's just infuriating. I don't know how we're going to tell people. People need to know, and they do need to know. And it's better if I can get more and more card holders to come out and tell them too. You know what I mean? I need card holders to stand up and say, this is happening to us. You know, people that are carers for disabled people that this year lost their nominee status. So their disabled person that they were caring for is now on the card. But because they had nominee over that person, they've got their cards. And now they're running on 2 Indue cards. You know what I mean? Where you've got the situation where somebody may have an organisation was a nominee for them. Now that organisation holds that person's Indue card. Yeah. And has control. So, anyway, I'm going to go and I'll sort this lot out. Anybody needs me, just send me messages in the message box, okay? And I'll get back to you guys later. I'll say goodnight. See ya.